They say when a man falls in love, it doesn't always happen with a big declaration or dramatic moment. Sometimes it happens in silence, in the way he looks at you when he thinks you're not watching, in the way he remembers the little things you forgot you even said, in the way he chooses to be there again and again, even when there's no spotlight, no applause, no obligation. This isn't the kind of love that screams from rooftops or floods your phone with 1,000 texts. No, this is quieter, stronger, more sincere. The kind of love that doesn't ask for permission. It just grows. In every gentle action, in every unspoken word, in every second of undivided presence. And often, we miss it. Because we're taught to expect flowers, promises, and 3 magical words. But the truth, real love whispers before it shouts. It lingers in the ordinary. So how do you know if he's falling for you without ever saying it out loud? How do you recognize the signs when he hasn't called it love yet, but everything in his energy says it already is? That's where this matters. Because a man in love may not always be poetic with his words, but his heart has a language of its own. And once you know how to listen, really listen, you'll hear it in the way he treats you, the way he protects your peace, the way he shows up, not just in your good moments, but in your vulnerable ones. No performance, no pressure, just presence, steady, consistent, and real. In this video, we're going beyond the cliches. We're stepping into the small, powerful moments that reveal how deeply a man is feeling, even when he hasn't said the words yet. These 15 silent signs aren't just cute behaviors. They're proof that something deeper is unfolding, that his heart is already leaning in, even if his lips haven't caught up. Whether you're in a new connection, a long-distance bond, or you've just been wondering if what you're feeling is mutual, this is for you. Because sometimes all we need is to learn what real affection looks like when it doesn't have a script. So take a deep breath. Think of that one person, and as we walk through these signs together, ask yourself, is he falling quietly, steadily, deeply? And I just didn't see it until now. Let's find out. 1. He remembers tiny details you mentioned once. He remembers tiny details you mentioned once. And that says more than 1,000 love declarations. It's not about grand gestures or dramatic promises. It's about those soft, quiet moments where he proves he's truly listening. You might casually mention your favorite childhood snack, the name of a teacher who inspired you, or how you hate thunderstorms because they remind you of lonely nights. Weeks later, you find that snack in his bag for you, or he texts you on a rainy night just to say, I know you don't like storms. I'm here if you want to talk. That's how love hides, not in loud confessions, but in memory. And when a man starts falling deeply, he tunes in, not just to your words, but your emotions behind them. He stores the small stuff, the things even you forget you said. You mention your interview is on Thursday at 2 p.m, and on the dot, he sends a good luck message. You tell him you had a rough week, and he recalls it 3 days later, asking how you're really holding up. It's subtle, but so powerful. Why does this matter so much? Because remembering the little things isn't just about memory. It's about care, about presence. It shows that while you were talking, he wasn't distracted. He wasn't half listening. He wasn't waiting for his turn to speak. He was there, soaking in the details, because to him, every bit of you matters. And that's rare. That's intimate. That's how you know his feelings are real. Because love, when it's honest, pays attention. So if he brings up something you only said once in passing, don't brush it off. That's love, quietly showing up. That's a man who's not just interested, He's invested. And that kind of love doesn't fade easily. 2. He looks at you like you're the only one in the room. He looks at you like you're the only one in the room. And in that gaze, there's a universe of unspoken emotions. It's not about how long he stares or whether others notice. It's about the intensity, the softness, and the stillness in his eyes when they land on you. It's a look that makes the noise of the world fade, the kind that says, I see you, all of you. Even when surrounded by people, even in crowded spaces or noisy moments, he finds you. And when he does, it's like nothing else matters. That kind of gaze isn't forced. It's not part of a plan or a move. It's instinctive. It's how you catch him staring when you're not speaking, when you're laughing, or just thinking to yourself. It's how his eyes linger like you're something precious, like he's afraid to blink and miss a second of you. He may not say it out loud, but those eyes say everything. They tell you that in a room full of choices, distractions, and expectations, his focus is on you. This kind of look happens when a man's guard starts falling. It's when admiration turns into affection and interest transforms into attachment. It's not just about attraction, it's about connection. He's not just seeing your face, he's reading your mood, memorizing your expressions, and trying to understand the soul behind your smile. If you've ever caught him looking at you like that, with that mix of warmth, wonder, and stillness, know this. He's falling. Not fast, not loud, but deep. Because a man can fake words, he can even mimic actions, but his eyes will always tell the truth. And when they see only you in a room full of everyone, that truth is crystal clear. You're not just someone to him, you're the one. 3. He prioritizes your happiness without being asked. He prioritizes your happiness without being asked. And that's one of the clearest signs that his heart is already involved. When a man starts falling hard, your comfort and smile become part of his own emotional balance. He doesn't wait for you to complain or beg for attention. He's already noticing what makes your shoulders relax, what brings light to your eyes, and what makes your laugh rise from the deepest part of you. And he leans into it, naturally. He'll rearrange his schedule just to make time for you, even if it means less sleep or pushing his own tasks later. He'll give up his favorite spot if it makes you more comfortable. He'll watch your favorite movie, not because he likes it, but because you do. And he'll remember how you take your coffee, or that you like your toast slightly burnt, just to make sure your day starts right. These aren't massive sacrifices. They're soft, consistent acts of care. And that's what makes them powerful. They're unprompted. What makes this so meaningful is that it's not performative. He doesn't do it for praise. He's not waiting for applause or recognition. He does it quietly, often invisibly, because your happiness has started to feel like a part of his. He finds joy in seeing you smile. He feels peace when you're relaxed. When you're struggling, he becomes restless, not because he needs to fix it, but because your pain affects him deeply. This is the kind of love that's felt in the little moments, when he brings you food without asking, when he adjusts plans because you're tired, or when he just listens without offering solutions, because he knows you just need space. That's not convenience, that's care. That's him saying, without saying, your happiness matters to me, maybe even more than my own. And when a man starts moving like that, from instinct, from affection, from sincerity, it's no longer a crush. That's a man who's emotionally invested. Silently, steadily, wholeheartedly. 4. He checks in even when there's no reason to. He checks in even when there's no reason to. And that's how you know it's real. Not every message has an agenda. Not every call is tied to a plan. Sometimes it's just him wanting to know how you're doing. No motive, no expectation, just care, just presence. When a man is falling for you, He doesn't wait for something to be wrong before reaching out. He doesn't just appear when it's convenient. He's consistent, thoughtful, and quietly tuned into your emotional rhythm. You might get a text that says, "How's your day?" in the middle of his busiest hour. Or a voice note saying, "Just heard a song that reminded me of you." It might not seem like much, but those little check-ins carry weight. They're tiny windows into a heart that's paying attention. A man in love doesn't need an emergency to reach out. He just needs a moment where you crossed his mind. And when you do, he acts on it. It's not about being clingy. It's not about over-communicating. It's about consistency and emotional presence. It's about showing you, without drama or noise, that he's there, even in the ordinary moments, especially in the ordinary moments. Because that's when real love shows up, not just during highs and lows, but in the quiet in between. And here's the thing. When someone checks in like that, without needing a reason, they're showing you that you matter outside of function, that your existence alone is enough to spark their attention. It means they think of you as a part of their day, not just an event in it. They're building emotional safety, trust, and a quiet kind of intimacy that doesn't rely on grand gestures. So if he's reaching out just because, without any real reason, it's not just a message. It's a heart making space for yours. And that's rare. That's love forming its roots. 5. He notices when your mood shifts and cares. He notices when your mood shifts and he actually cares. That's when you start to realize his feelings aren't surface level. Even when you try to mask it with a smile, he sees past it. You don't have to say you're upset. You don't need to explain why you're quiet. He just knows. In the way your voice softens, or how your replies get shorter, or how you suddenly seem distant, even if you're right next to him. And instead of brushing it off, he leans in. He doesn't get uncomfortable with your emotions. He doesn't roll his eyes or tell you to just cheer up. Instead, he listens. He slows down. He asks gently, "Are you okay?" Or sometimes he doesn't even ask. He just stays close, giving you space, but not leaving you alone. That's the kind of support that feels like peace. That's the kind of care you can't fake. When a man is falling hard, your emotional state becomes part of his awareness. He learns your silences. He notices when your laughter doesn't reach your eyes. He remembers what overwhelms you and what calms you. And without needing to fix everything, he tries to be your safe space. Someone who holds you, not pressures you. Someone who pays attention without making you feel watched. Someone who responds to your mood, not just your words. It's a powerful form of love, this emotional presence, because it shows you he's not just there for the easy moments, but for the real ones, the raw ones, the complicated ones. Anyone can enjoy your joy, but it takes someone with a sincere heart to sit with you in your quiet storms. So when he starts asking, "You seem off. Do you want to talk?" Or when he gives you comfort without needing to be asked, that's not just kindness. That's emotional depth. That's a man whose heart is already entwining with yours, one unspoken moment at a time. 6. He finds reasons to be near you, even for a moment. He finds reasons to be near you, even for a moment. And that's not just coincidence. It's quiet longing. Whether it's sitting beside you when there are other empty seats, helping with something you didn't really need help with, or casually walking by your side when no one asked him to, it's his way of being close without making it obvious. He may not know how to say, "I want to be around you," but his actions speak that sentence again and again. When a man is falling hard, your presence becomes a source of calm and energy for him. Just being near you, hearing your voice, watching your expressions, sharing the same space, becomes something he seeks even if for a fleeting minute. He might linger after conversations, volunteer to join your plans, or suddenly show up where you are under a casual excuse. It's not about control, it's about connection. He's drawn to you in ways he can't fully explain, and so he follows that pull in small, intentional ways. You'll notice it in the way he slows down when walking beside you, in how he chooses to sit next to you even if others are around, in how he enters the same room and somehow always ends up closest to you. These moments might seem insignificant, but they're not. They're pieces of a pattern that says, being around you feels better than being anywhere else. It's in these simple efforts that his feelings quietly grow roots. He may never say, "I miss you," out loud, but you'll see it in how often he shows up, in how many just passing by moments start to add up. That's not chance. That's love in motion, quiet, respectful, constant. And when someone finds joy just in being near you, even for seconds at a time, that's not just attraction. That's the beginning of something real. 7. He mirrors your habits or speech unconsciously. He mirrors your habits or speech unconsciously. And that's one of the most subtle but powerful signs that he's emotionally connected to you. When a man starts picking up your little gestures, phrases, or routines without even realizing it, it means your presence is quietly influencing him on a deeper level. This isn't something he plans or pretends. It just happens naturally when someone spends time with a person they admire, care for, or feel emotionally synced with. You might notice him using the same slang you do, laughing the way you laugh, or repeating phrases you often say. Maybe you tap your fingers when you're thinking, and one day you catch him doing the same. Or perhaps you always sip your coffee a certain way, or arrange your food in a specific order. And now, without even noticing, he's doing it too. These aren't random. They're signs that his subconscious is drawn to you. Why does this happen? Because we mirror the people we feel emotionally safe with. It's a psychological phenomenon called limbic synchrony, a way our brains say, "I feel close to you. I trust you. I want to connect with you." So if he's suddenly using your catchphrases, laughing at the same weird things, or adopting your preferences, it means he's not just observing you, he's absorbing you in the most affectionate way. Mirroring is one of those quiet signs of emotional alignment. It shows that his heart and mind are syncing with yours, not just because he's interested, but because he feels something genuine. People don't mirror others they're indifferent to. They mirror those who make them feel seen, accepted, and inspired. So if he's starting to sound like you, move like you, or even think like you in small ways, don't laugh it off. It means you've carved space inside his world. And love, real love, often begins exactly like that, in the unnoticed moments where two people become reflections of one another without ever meaning to. 8. He introduces you to people who matter to him. He introduces you to people who matter to him. And that's no small gesture. When a man is falling hard, he doesn't just keep you in the shadows or treat you like a secret. He brings you into his world, piece by piece. You meet his closest friends, his siblings, maybe even his parents. Not because he wants to show you off, but because he wants you to belong. This kind of introduction means he's proud of you. It means he values your presence enough to include you in the parts of his life that matter most. The people he trusts, respects, and relies on. He wants them to know you. And even more telling, he wants you to know them. He's weaving you into his everyday, merging the life he had before with the future he's imagining. And you're at the center of it. It's not always some grand announcement. Sometimes it's as simple as, "Hey, come with me. My best friend's around. You'll love them." Or, My mom asked about you again. It's those casual mentions that mean everything, because once he starts introducing you, he's no longer just dating in isolation. He's building a connection that's meant to last. There's also a sense of emotional safety behind it. If he brings you around the people he's closest to, it means he trusts that you'll fit in, that they'll see what he sees in you. It means he's not afraid to make you real in his life, not just someone he texts, but someone who walks beside him. And that's when you know things are shifting. You're not just someone he likes, you're becoming someone he envisions standing beside him through everything. When a man introduces you to his circle, he's not just sharing names, he's silently saying, "This is someone important to me. I want her here." That's not a casual move. That's the quiet language of love growing stronger. 9. He sacrifices his time just to be around you. He sacrifices his time just to be around you. And that speaks volumes about where his heart truly lies. Time is one of the most precious things anyone has. And when a man starts willingly giving it to you, not out of obligation, but out of genuine desire, that's love in action, even if he doesn't say it out loud. You'll notice it in the way he adjusts his schedule just to see you for a few minutes. He'll leave work a little early, stay up a little later, or wake up a bit earlier, all so he can hear your voice, sit beside you, or simply exist in your space. He'll show up to things he doesn't necessarily enjoy, just because you're there. He may not be a fan of your favorite movie or cafe or weekend plan, but he'll still go, because it's not about the activity, it's about you. And he won't make a big deal out of it. He won't brag or keep score. He'll just quietly choose you again and again, over rest, over convenience, even over his own plans sometimes. That's how you know it's real, because sacrifice without complaint isn't weakness, it's deep care. It's an unspoken message that says, being with you matters more than whatever else I could be doing. This kind of devotion isn't loud or flashy. It's subtle, steady, and rare. It's in the small things, waiting with you when you're late, showing up to support you even when he's tired, or cancelling other things to make sure he doesn't miss a moment with you. And no, it doesn't mean he has no life of his own. It means he's choosing to make you part of it, even at a cost. That's what love looks like when it's growing silently. Effort without conditions. Presence without pressure. Time offered not out of duty, but from the heart. And when you see him making those quiet sacrifices, know this: he's not just interested, he's already emotionally invested. 10. He listens with full attention, not just to reply. He listens with full attention, not just to reply. That's a rare kind of presence, and it speaks volumes about how deeply he feels for you. When a man is truly falling, he's not just hearing your words, he's absorbing them. He's watching your face, reading your tone, catching the emotions behind your sentences. He's not listening just to form a clever response or win an argument. He's listening to understand you. In a world full of distractions, his focus becomes a quiet gift. The phone stays in his pocket, the TV fades into the background. He leans in, nods gently, and waits for you to finish. He asks follow-up questions. He remembers what you said days later. He makes you feel like your thoughts, no matter how messy or small, are worth his time. And that's powerful, because real listening is not about being quiet, it's about being present. You'll notice that when you talk, he's not just waiting for his turn. He's reacting in ways that show he's truly with you in that moment, laughing when you didn't expect him to, softening when you get emotional, and pausing when you're searching for the right word. That kind of attention isn't romantic fluff. It's emotional intimacy. It means he wants to know you, not just date you. This level of listening builds trust. It tells you that you can open up without being dismissed or redirected. It tells you, that your voice carries weight in his world. And most importantly, it tells you that he values your mind as much as your presence. When a man listens with that kind of patience and care, he's not just being polite. He's building a connection, one that's rooted in respect, not just attraction. So if you ever catch him listening like you're the only voice that matters in a noisy world, hold on to that. That's not ordinary interest. That's emotional depth. That's love, paying close attention. 11. He defends you when you're not in the room. He defends you when you're not in the room. And that's when his true loyalty shows. It's easy to act supportive when you're standing right there, but real respect is revealed in the shadows. When you're absent and someone speaks carelessly about you. A man who's falling hard won't stay silent in those moments. He'll speak up. He'll protect your name, because to him, your dignity matters, even when you're not watching. Whether it's a friend making a sly joke about you, a coworker questioning your abilities, or a relative throwing shade behind your back, he doesn't just brush it off. He steps in. Maybe it's calm and direct, or maybe it's firm and sharp, but either way, he sets a boundary. He doesn't let people minimize you, laugh at you, or misrepresent you. Not because he wants to look like a hero, but because he genuinely cares. Because in his heart, you deserve to be safe, respected, and seen, even when you're not present to defend yourself. This kind of defense is personal. It shows he's not just proud to be with you. He's protective of how the world sees you, your reputation, your name, your value. He guards those things like they're part of him. Because when someone loves you, they understand that protecting your peace is part of loving you right. And the truth is, many people can act like they care when it's convenient, but few will stand up for you when it costs them something, like social comfort or approval. So when he defends you in conversations you'll never hear, when he speaks kindness over your name in rooms you'll never enter, that's real. It means he's not just in it for show, he's in it with his whole heart. And that's the kind of man who doesn't just want to be near you, he wants to honor you. Always. Even in silence. Even in absence. Especially then. 12. He shares future plans and includes you in them. He shares future plans and includes you in them. And that's when his intentions become clear without needing fancy words. When a man is falling deeply, he doesn't just talk about tomorrow. He talks about next month, next year, even 5 years from now. And somehow, you're always part of that picture. Whether he's planning a trip, imagining his dream home, or just mentioning what he wants his weekends to look like in the future, he weaves you into those moments like it's the most natural thing in the world. It might start small. He'll say things like, "We should try that new place next fall," or, "If I get that job offer, we'll have to move somewhere warm." And that we, that's everything. Because he's no longer thinking in terms of me, he's building a we before it's even official. He's imagining a life, and your presence is the part that makes it feel complete. Sometimes it's even quieter than that. He'll ask what kind of house you like. He'll wonder aloud what your kids might look like. He'll make playful suggestions about your side of the closet, or what kind of dog you both should adopt. These aren't just passing comments. They're emotional signals. He's not just dating. He's planting roots. And here's what matters most. He's not afraid of the idea of permanence. Including you in his future doesn't scare him. It excites him. He talks about it openly, casually, confidently. Because to him, the thought of you still being there isn't a risk. It's a comfort. So when a man starts drawing outlines of his future and you keep showing up in the center of them, don't ignore that. That's love making room. That's commitment growing quietly. And that's someone who isn't just falling for you. He's already planning to stay. 13. He shows vulnerability, even if just a little. He shows vulnerability, even if just a little. And that speaks louder than any "I love you" ever could. For many men, vulnerability doesn't come easy. The world often teaches them to stay guarded, to hide their pain, to be strong even when they're crumbling inside. So when a man begins to open that door for you, even just a crack, it means something sacred. He trusts you. He's letting you into a part of himself that most people never see. It might not be a dramatic confession or emotional breakdown. Sometimes it's just the way his voice lowers when he talks about his past, or how his eyes shift when he mentions someone who hurt him, or how he says, "I've never told anyone this before, but..." That moment, raw, hesitant, and real, is where intimacy lives. He may tell you about his childhood, his failures, his fears, or his deepest hopes. He might talk about the pressure he carries, or how lost he feels sometimes, even if he hides it from the world. And if you're really paying attention, you'll see that it's not weakness, it's a gift. Vulnerability is the language of trust. It's proof that he doesn't just like you, he feels safe with you. And it's not just in what he says, it's in what he shows. Maybe he lets you see him cry. Maybe he admits he doesn't have it all figured out. Maybe he reaches out for comfort when he's exhausted instead of pretending to be fine. These aren't signs of emotional instability. They're signs of emotional depth, because real love doesn't live in perfect moments. It lives in the brave ones. In the quiet courage it takes to say, "This is who I am, even the messy parts, and I want you to see them." When he lets you in like that, even just a little, believe it. That's not a man playing games. That's a man opening his heart, slowly, honestly, fearfully, but willingly. 14. He smiles when he sees you every single time. He smiles when he sees you every single time. And it's not just politeness. It's instinct. It's his heart reacting before his mind even catches up. That smile, whether it's wide and obvious or soft and shy, is his way of saying, "You matter to me. Just seeing you makes my day better." And the most beautiful part, he doesn't even realize he's doing it because it's real. It doesn't matter if he's had a long day, if he's tired, stressed, or lost in thought. The moment you walk into the room or your name pops up on his phone, his expression changes. His eyes light up. His posture softens. That small lift of his lips is his soul recognizing something safe, warm, and familiar. You. That kind of smile is different from the one he gives everyone else. It's not forced. It's not for show. It's effortless. It's the kind that slips out even when he's trying to hide how happy he is to see you. And if you ever catch him trying to play it cool, but then smiling the moment you turn away, that's a dead giveaway. He's feeling more than he's saying. Because falling for someone doesn't always look like grand gestures. Sometimes it's a quiet joy that shows up every time they see your face. A simple reaction that says, "I'm just glad you're here." So don't underestimate that consistent smile. It's not small. It's his heart showing through his face, again and again. A sign that, no matter what else is going on in his life, you are still his favorite moment in the room. And when a man can't help but smile every time he sees you, even in the silence, even in passing, you're not just someone he likes. You're someone he's falling for. Steadily, naturally, and happily. 15. He's present, consistently, silently, fully. He's present, consistently, silently, fully. Not just when it's easy, not just when it's fun, but when it truly matters. He shows up, not with fanfare or constant words, but with quiet reliability that speaks louder than anything he could say. His presence is calm, steady, and certain. He doesn't need to announce his feelings because his actions whisper them every time he chooses to be there. He remembers important dates, but more importantly, he remembers the little ones, the day you had a tough meeting, or the week you said you were feeling off. He doesn't disappear when you're not at your best. He doesn't wait for you to ask for help. He notices. He checks in. He stands by. Not because he has to, but because he wants to. He doesn't vanish when life gets messy. He stays. He listens when you're ranting, holds space when you're quiet, and supports you even when he doesn't have all the answers. That kind of presence is rare, the kind that doesn't crowd you, doesn't try to fix everything, but makes you feel deeply seen and safe just by being there. And that's the kind of presence love is built on. He won't always have the perfect words. He won't always know what to do. But he won't run. He won't flake. He won't make excuses. His consistency becomes a quiet love language, one that says, I'm not here for convenience. I'm here for the real thing. So if he's showing up again and again, through late nights, long silences, uncertain days, understand what you're looking at. You're not just in his thoughts. You're in his routine, his priorities, his peace. That's not a man playing a role. That's a man falling hard in the purest, most grounded way possible.